Do whatever it takes to be the best version of you.
Hey guys, how we doing? Joe here. Hope you're doing well. This week on TEW TV, we're talking about the dialogue that's inside our heads. Now, we all have a dialogue inside our head. It tells us we're hungry. It tells us that we're bored. It tells us that we're annoying. It might even tell you right now that you're struggling to deal with this conversation. But the dialogue inside our head is super important. When we look at the negatives that are constantly telling us that we are no good, that we are worthless, that we are hopeless in the things that we do and encounter, do we entertain those thoughts, or do we put practices into our life in those moments to help us rid those thoughts? Now, for me, a massive part of my life, I've had a negative dialogue inside my head, right? So the things that I do, I look at it this way. If I had a physical friend who constantly put me down, who constantly told me that I was no good, who constantly said that I was worthless, what would you do? You'd walk away from it in a heartbeat. You'd flick that friend and never want them to be around you, because you don't want to take on negatives all the time. Yet we continue to entertain it in our own head. So what I do, and I've done for a long time, is that when things start to go negative or go south inside my mind, just like in the physical world, if I'm around a negative person, I flick that negative person and start hanging out with some positive people. When I am having negative thoughts, I flick those thoughts by doing positive actions. Those actions for me are associated with the 5 values that I've continuously lived to get me well. Learning to live with more love, care, respect, humility, and compassion. Learning to live with more love for others. Learning to respect people and their decisions and let them run their own race. But also be super compassionate to people, because all pains come from somewhere else. So if we've got that negative dialogue that's in our head, think about it as a negative friend that we'd have physically. We get rid of that friend. We flick him and replace him with positive people. Let's start to get rid of those negative thoughts and flick them by replacing them with positive actions.